welcome everybody to Pelican and the Bear, episode 3. We got a couple of good topics to go over with you today. We got Chris over there, and we got Plumber Kev in the background.
The
Plumber Kevin.
That's right, we got Plumber Kev. What have you guys been up to this week? Anything special going on?
So I actually, so it's me and my girlfriend Jess's anniversary on like the 12th of June. So Carnival has just been hitting us up for all these cheap ass cruises. So I just booked us a little four nighter, you know, but it literally costs less than $500. You know, it's fucking crazy.
Oh, shit. When is that going to be? Do you know what cruise line it is?
I said Carnival, dude.
No. Sorry, what ship it is?
Oh, it's Paradise. It's a smaller ship because Tampa. They're just out of Tampa. It's nice and easy. The giant ships can't make it through, I guess, either the Skyway or the Tampa Bay isn't deep enough, I guess. There's something about the port. So that's why all your big ships are in Port Canaveral or Miami when it comes to Florida.
It has a buffet and a casino, right?
Oh, yeah. It literally, all Carnival ships literally are identical. Just the bigger ones have like more room or an extra pool or two, but they have the same standard bars and everything. Yeah, dude, I would not go on a boat unless I could gamble, dude. Come on.
So they're just floating hotels with casinos and buffets. That's my understanding.
It's all you can eat and all you can gamble, and I'm there for it.
Keep in mind, I've still never been on a cruise. So
same.
Well, I think by the end of this year, I think there won't be any restrictions, like no vaccine mandates, all that shit. You know, I think that should be done.
All coming back.
What?
Nope, it's all coming back. COVID's gonna be back.
Fucking someone cut this guy's mic now.
COVID v 6.0.
Nah.
Whichever one this is. No, I was.
But what I was gonna say is like once that happens, we're all gonna go on the Mardi Gras.
Okay.
But dude, I was just thinking about it, and me and Jess, we're about to hit 2 years, and I've never been on a vacation with her at all, ever. Like solo.
Without.
Because over half our relationship was during like pandemic and all that shit. And then anytime we did go out, it was always with the crew. So I wanted to like just have a little just the two of us type thing, you know?
Yeah. What I was gonna say is I was talking to Caitlin, and the two places the two things I guess that I haven't done that I would like to do is I would like to go to New York because I've never been to New York, and I'd like to go on a cruise because I've never gone on a cruise. And I think probably when COVID started, I would have said I wanted to go to New York more, not because of COVID or something. I just at the time that's what I would have rather done, but. More recently, especially with all the gambling and stuff, I would definitely rather go on a cruise. So I'd really like to do that by the end of the year, if it's possible. I guess we'll see because all the
right now they're still requiring you to be fully vaccinated though. But that's the only thing right now. So that's going to be the last thing to go. But I'm pretty sure that's going to end, I would say, by the end of the year.
Yeah. And I mean, I can go, but then I just the people I would want to go with.
I know. I'm gonna wait when it's all over. We're definitely gonna go as the whole crew. You know what I mean? And we got to go on the Mardi Gras.
Yeah, dude. Just looking at that shit. God.
Yeah, and that's like, right out of Port Canaveral.
It looks fun to look at.
Yeah.
Like that thing is just insane. I mean, the little 4-story boat we were on compared to that thing, was just you can't even. There's not even the same thing, man.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But yeah, I mean this week for me at least, it's been nothing really except I get home, which of course getting off work for me, as people know, is more than just turning from one side of the desk to the other. Um,
Yeah.
I get home and then I've been following a schedule so that we can prep for videos and record videos and that stuff. So it's been that grind, which has been a change of pace. I haven't really sat down and played a video game or anything like that, which is nice. It feels good to, be productive.
Yo, I know.
But,
I haven't gone to the poker room and played poker in over a week now, and that's crazy because I was going like 3 times a week to go play poker.
Yeah.
And then I haven't really played Destiny in, like, I think I got on for maybe like 45 minutes the other day, but that's it. Whereas usually I would play for like guaranteed 4 hours a night,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I did have a game that I wanted to play, that would be more or less the go-to when I got home. And when I didn't, I would just fuck around until, I don't know, until I just ended up watching a movie or picked up a new show, or I don't know. I think Kevin and I would just talk to you a lot. I'm sorry, Plumber Kevin. I would just hang out in Discord or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it definitely adds some productivity. Makes you feel like you're at least doing something.
Yeah,
Even though it may
definitely.
seem like it's not, it doesn't really take effort. Obviously it does. So it's been rewarding.
Yeah, and if you guys, talking to the audience here, if you guys want to see us react to anything crazy, or if you have any ideas that you want to see us play a game or anything, just let us know down in the comments. We're still learning and trying to find our path and just try to give you guys the best content available. So
Yeah, I'd say right now, really, the only thing that is guaranteed to be a constant is the podcast itself. So it's just fun. It's just, at some point during the week, we're going to shoot the shit and talk anyway. And may as well record it and kind of drive the conversation to different things and just talk about different things, So, and these are all things that we would, for the most part, end up talking about anyway, So,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Those are the
definitely,
only things I want to talk about anyway. I don't want to talk about
yeah.
fucking makeup for girls or some shit, or what I mean. I don't care how big
Was
the
that-
news
is
story
that-
is,
Is that a conversation you're getting dragged into or something?
Yeah,
Is that
every
like a
night.
constant fight you have? She's like, which eyeliner should I use? And you're like, you look beautiful no matter what. And she's like, don't make a fucking joke.
Yeah, why do
Don't
you think
ignore
I'm
the
in my
question.
office? I'm in my office the whole time. I'm hiding.
Hiding. Yeah. My fashion sense, my makeup sense is zero. Like every so often you look at a picture or something, or you look at somebody and you're like, oh, they're like not wearing any makeup at all, and somebody would just be like, that shit is caked on, and I'm like, I guess I really can't tell the difference. I don't know what made me say that in the first fucking place.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, you want to get started?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think we're done, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Except I really do want to talk about this because I fucking love the Predator, man.
Have at it,
And-
man. Go for it.
So apparently, with Disney buying, I think it was 20th Century Fox in 2019 for whatever it was, like $74 billion. Well, Fox owned the rights to Predator and the Alien, those two different franchises, which are in the same universe. So because of those shitty Predator versus Alien movies. But Marvel is actually going to start making Predator comics. There were already Predator comics. I forget what it was, like a third party. It wasn't obviously one of the two big ones that made it. So
Was it not? Is it Dark Horse Comics or the one that's mentioned in this article, or is that something else?
No, that's it. Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Oh, you read the article. Thanks, man.
Yeah, look, I give a shit. A little.
Yeah, so there already, I guess, was a limited, like, it wasn't big. I never heard of it. I only know the Predator because of, the movies, but which, if any of you guys haven't seen the original Predator, is by far the best one, with probably, like, Arnold was amazing in that movie too. It was,
Yeah, I think that's when he really started hitting his stride.
yeah.
Was in that movie.
Well, I don't know if it came out before Judgment Day, or not Judgment Day, the original Terminator. I don't know which one, because this
Wasn't the
Predator was,
Terminator
it was in the 80s. No, not that early.
Am I crazy? Let's figure that shit out.
The original Predator came out in 87, which I'm pretty sure Terminator was before
was
80.
84.
Was
It
80?
84.
Oh,
Yeah. I did my research just 2 seconds ago.
so yeah, we have so it was at the beginning of Arnold, but I think it was one of, like, I mean, I think his best performance was like True Lies, but it was a really good performance by him.
What do you think, just talking about the Predator specifically, which obviously this is meant to be the apex predator, to the universe, right? Is my assumption, but obviously they can only be the greatest predator to what they know or what they've evolved for, right?
Yeah, they're not the greatest. They're not. You've never seen Predator, have you?
Dude, when I was young, but hear me out, right? There's supposed to be an apex predator in general, right? That's the general idea. What do the dreads do?
Well, that's their hair, dude.
Yeah.
You gonna
So,
judge them by your hair?
Like, what part of that? I'm just trying to understand, like, the design and the theme and the idea, right? And again, they're built as shit. They're tall, right? The mouth, they get to grasp onto things or whatever. So what do the dreads do?
Dude, these things fucking kill xenomorphs. I think you need to pay them more respect, dude.
I'm not saying they're not obviously much tougher than a lot of other things. Not a lot of shit in the Marvel universe, but a lot of other things.
No, this thing would fuck Captain America up, man. Come on.
But what do the dreads do?
They fucking shoot out and strangle you.
Explain to me. All right, Captain America and the Predator are going at it, right? Captain America's just throwing his fucking shield left and right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so what do the dreads do?
Okay, first of all, we have to make sure Captain America did not see the first Predator, because that's the only way you can really beat him is when you cover. Oh, spoiler alert from a movie in 1987. I'll give you a second to leave.
Dude, what is your deal, bro?
Hold on, I'm giving him a second. Okay. If you cover yourself in mud, they see infrared, so you cover yourself in mud, then you hide your body heat. So if Captain America didn't know that, then the Predator would beat him with it. He has to have his suit on too, the Predator. Like
but to be clear, Captain America, in all fairness, definitely did not see this movie.
Yeah, so he wouldn't know.
Didn't see this movie.
He wouldn't know then.
So, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop dodging the question. What do the dreads do?
It's just hair, dude. What do you mean?
All right. Okay. That's fine.
I mean, do you think they did it for like the sex appeal when they were designing it? When they had like the prototype drawing, like, hey, let's make this.
Like, hey, no. Listen, not enough people are gonna want to fuck this thing.
Yeah.
So they started with the dreads.
We need to give it hair, but not just hair. We need to give it like old, unwashed, dreaded hair. And people are gonna want to fuck this thing.
Well, that was when they got to the mouth.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, I'm just excited for, more things into the Marvel cinematic universe, because now that Predator would be in it, now the xenomorph for the aliens can be in it too now. So, and those things are fucking badass too. So, obviously it should be darker. They're not going to be like fighting the Avengers or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is interesting too because I think this is an example of something coming over from a totally different, not like a different universe, but a franchise that's completely outside of Marvel. That was outside of Marvel when the MCU started, and then came into Marvel afterwards, and then now can be used in the comics, in the movies and stuff. Which I'm not aware of anything else, but is there anything else that during the run of the MCU has come into Marvel and also made it into the movies? I don't think so, right? Everything that they've had in there is
not
stuff
that more
that
of it.
has been historically Marvel property anyway. So
Yeah, it's already been written in. Now they're actually starting from scratch, writing it in. And then if they do take it to the movies, which it doesn't mean they will, there's like a million characters that are in their comics that will probably never make the movies. So, I mean, I don't know.
So I think that's
with
really...
the multiverse, they can do whatever they want. They can be like, oh, it just exists just in that one universe. That's like their easy way out, you know?
Yeah, by no means am I saying that it's a bad thing or anything like that. I think it's really cool. It sets an interesting precedent for potential properties that get bought to be able to integrate into the Marvel universe. Like, it doesn't have to be only things that are historically part of the comics, right? This is obviously something that they bought that was a comic, that was a movie, that they could phase into it. It's just really interesting. It just sets a really unique precedent, I think. Hold on now. Producer Kevin's given me some information. Plumber Kevin. You just can't call him the same fucking thing. The dreadlocks represent a predator's skill in combat and suitability as a mate.
Okay, you were pretty close. I mean, you got half of that right.
It has to do with fucking.
So any Game of Thrones fans, it's like the Dothraki with the braids. Like the longer the braids are, the more like the older they are. So if they have short braids, then it's like, oh, that's just a little youngin. He hasn't fought in combat.
All right. That's
so they have a meat. Yeah, I never looked into that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I'm glad I got an answer. Couldn't get it out of the Predator fan, but it is what it is. It's fine.
Sorry, I didn't fucking study them.
So let's talk about. I guess we can talk about this. From things that are outside of things that Marvel owns currently. But what are some characters either that exist in Marvel or don't exist in Marvel that you would like to see in the MCU?
Dominic Toretto.
Oh shit!
I knew that would get you.
Granny Schiff did not double clutch it like you should. Oh
yes.
My God. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Toretto. Oh my God, dude. You know what? Honestly, that's. I wanted to answer that question too, and
dude, I knew that's what you were getting at, man. Every time you're talking about merging,
it wasn't what I was getting at all. But hey, where are they going to go after the 10th movie if not into the MCU? And I've said it every single time we've watched one of these fucking movies together.
All right,
one of these Fast and Furious movies. They're superheroes now.
No. How about this? This just came to me. This is what the vape does to me. Ready? Remember in the last movie, like you just mentioned it, Tyrese said it's like we're superheroes. You ready for this? What's the next Fast and Furious? It's Fast and Furious 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the Roman numeral for 10?
Oh my fucking God.
Say it.
X-Men.
X.
The X-Men, dude.
And then so X-Men. It's gonna be fucking an X-Men movie with Fast and Furious X.
Oh hey,
what program was that made Wolverine? The Weapons X program.
Oh shit,
dude. See, that's how they get in.
Conspiracy anymore? This is just straight up fact, dude. Honestly, if I saw if I saw them just walking into an MCU scene, and they're like, hey, we're more than just the Avengers.
We're family.
We're family. Fucking shit, dude. Oh my god, I'd cream. I'd cream.
I know you would.
I'd be done. I'd be done. I mean, like, I think everything I've ever wanted in life just happened. Like, just could you imagine who like okay, so assuming they're not actually superheroes, because they're not. Maybe they have a slight proficiency for ignoring gravity or something like that.
Yeah.
Who did they fight in the Marvel universe that like they're evenly matched with?
Fucking Black Widow. Hawkeye.
Yeah, I suppose that's
like
true.
non-superhumans.
They're not coming in as the villains. If they came in as the villains, the Avengers would then be the villains, and they would take over the franchise.
Yeah.
So they're not coming. So who is the villain that they could fight? That would be a fair match. Maybe they just put Charlize Theron in Avengers.
Yeah, she's a Marvel villain now.
Yeah, she's fucking Marvel villain. Dude, I can't tell you how happy I would be. I mean, that's one of Fox's biggest properties at this point, is it not?
No, that's not like, Fox. That's
or Universal.
Yeah, Universal. Yeah.
So there. I mean, there's no way. But and it wouldn't make any sense either. But like, a boy can dream, you know.
I know. That's why I said I knew it would get you excited.
The character that I really want, in all seriousness, I wanna stop with the teasing and the playing around and all that shit. I want to get Mephisto in these movies, man.
Okay.
I'm tired of the memes and the bullshit and the Doctor Strange looking kind of devilish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's get Mephisto in here. Let's just get literal Satan and put him in these fucking movies, man. That's what I would like to see, and then I would like to see Deadpool properly enter the MCU. Properly. That would be my...
You know, I heard a badass idea, and I think this would be amazing. So when Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, and they obviously acquired the X-Men, the main X-Men cast that we all know, or most of them, are still under contract and need to do like a movie, I believe, which Disney could have just probably, they obviously have a buyout option, so they could just get paid and it's be done. But you know, it'd be awesome is because we're all sitting here like, instead of going the whole oh, they existed in another universe and now we're never going to see that universe. I'd rather have like a Deadpool movie that he has his little teleporter and he's teleporting and he just murders all of them. Like, because they did comics like that where Deadpool would just go in and just like...
Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Like, he could kill the Fox universe. Like, that would be a Deadpool movie, and that would be fucking amazing. And it would have all those actors in it, and you know what I mean? It would be fucking awesome. Yeah.
They could live out their contract in a movie that actually sells well and is actually good.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you know, the 2 or 3 X-Men movies that were good out of the whole lot.
Yeah. And then you get Deadpool just being Deadpool. Like, he could talk shit, and then he can actually kill characters that we actually like care about or like know, and you know what I mean? It'd just be cool to finally see him fight Wolverine and then fight like Storm, or you know.
What do you mean, Chris? We already saw him fight Wolverine. You don't remember?
Yeah.
You don't remember that fucking disaster of a movie?
What was that? Oh, X-Men's Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
Origin, something like that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That was so, even as somebody who didn't realize at the time that Deadpool as a character was just being destroyed with that.
Yeah.
That was terrible. It was so just not good.
And I love how Ryan Reynolds actually made that happen too. Like battle, he made the good one. Like, he fought for it. He wanted to actually play Deadpool like Deadpool, because he really is the closest thing to a Deadpool, like someone who's funny and in really good shape. And if you said like, oh yeah, Ryan Reynolds can fight and kill people, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. And then also make funny, like, dude, he could.
if you also told me that Ryan Reynolds was actually psychotic, I'd be like, that's something I could see. Like, totally makes sense. But yeah, man, I think that would be really cool. Get Deadpool into the Marvel universe. So, but hey, Predator will maybe we'll see within the next couple of years here.
All right, so I'm gonna end the Marvel talk with this. Tomorrow, Doctor Strange comes out, and we're seeing it at 6:30 tomorrow East Coast time. So we're gonna be posting our spoiler review that night. So probably around 10 o'clock tomorrow.
So I'm pretty sure this is not the podcast that's coming out next Wednesday.
Oh shit!
Don't worry, we'll edit this out.
Hey, this stays in.
No.
Eric, this stays in. Eric, this stays in. This fucking stays in. For sure. 100%.
Jesus.
I do not cut this out.
How much time did you put into calculating the dates and all?
I fucked up. Dude, that's the second time I fucked up on that movie.
Dude, hey, earlier you cut me off so hard that I just started dying laughing. I couldn't help. I know you were finishing your train of thought, but I just fucking I started to say something. You're just like, no. So what I was saying, and I was just like, and I just started dying laughing.
Sorry, I shouldn't have hit the vape another time. Why did you guys talk me into that? Fucking Eric challenged me.
Nobody told you to do that.
Eric challenged me, so I hit it again, and this is what happens.
Oh my goodness, that is fantastic. Okay, so
all right, we're gonna move on to our next topic. Yeah. All right, get ready for this. Here we go.
It's almost
Bang.
the same story. No. So
that is a full-size car, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fairly large car. So this is the woman with the longest legs.
There you go. There's the
woman with the longest legs in the world, as far as I'm aware.
Guinness
World record. 19 years old, 6'10". She holds 2 world records. Really interesting. So, and I don't know if this speaks to how creepy Guinness World Records is or what, but the 2 world records she holds is longest female legs and longest teenage legs, which I feel like is a bit of an odd category. I get it. I get that it's different, but it's a little odd. But throwing that aside, 19 years old, 6'10", wants to be a model and a social media influencer, and she has just under 2 million TikTok followers, and she has now started an OnlyFans.
Of course.
So I think OnlyFans these days is effectively just, and I don't know if this isn't necessarily my inherent perspective on it, but maybe from the younger generation this is the case. It's essentially just another YouTube, another form of social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not really this thing that we would think of it as. We're like, oh, like you're making porn, like you're whatever.
You're making porn.
Yeah, it's just like
I thought the same thing. As soon as someone says, like, if I met someone and they're like, yeah, I do OnlyFans, I immediately go like right to the XXX, like, oh, so you're doing all that, you know? Yeah. But there's people that do like cooking shows and stuff on there.
Well, sure. I mean, that's what they say. I don't know how true that really is.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the impression I've gotten that all of the claims that they make, that they have a lot of non-lewd content, is just complete bullshit. I think that so apparently the article says that her bio says nudity is not promised. So I'm assuming that she is now contributing to the 0.000001% of content that isn't sexual on that website. And I just don't think that I don't know. I don't know how viable, if you will, OnlyFans is as a just a regular social media platform. But like I said, it seems like that's how it's treated now.
Well, from what I was reading, I read it differently. When I read not promising porn or not promising nudity, I took that as, all right, I guarantee she's doing some like really sexual like positions, but she's still covered barely. And I think once she gets comfortable more with the camera, then it will turn into nudity, because when she says not promising, that sounds like she's on the bubble.
she's like depending on how this goes and how much I make from it, maybe.
I think she's gonna see the amount of money, and then she's gonna be like, if I start showing nudes, her numbers are gonna like quadruple, like quintuple, like, just keep going. And then all of a sudden it goes from not promising to like, oh, you have to come here, I'm all,
Yeah, I don't know what the running rate is, but I believe in this article it says her subscription is $35.
Yeah.
That seems insane. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what is interesting enough to pay $35 a month for. That's not my fucking, water bill or electric bill or something else. That's a large bill.
Well, that one chick from the Catch Me Outside girl,
Bad Baby.
Yeah, she just made like $50 million, and I think I heard she's charging like $25, and she doesn't do, I don't think she does that much nudity at all on it. And she gets paid $25. She get $25 a subscription. So I don't know if she saw that and based it off of that. I don't know.
The amount of money is just insane. I mean, you and I both watched that Vice documentary on
Amaranth.
Yeah, just talking about how much fucking money she's making.
Yeah, and honestly, that's my only, like, that's the most I've like learned about that whole OnlyFans, or that side of Twitch, where it's basically just free marketing for OnlyFans and stuff. I never really looked into that type of stuff. So
what was it, 10 or 12 million a month?
No, I thought she was making 1.5 to 2 million a month, I think. I don't think she's making 10 mil a month. I think it was like 1.5.
She's probably making 10 million a month.
I don't.
She's lying. She's cheating her taxes.
Yeah, I mean, when you're making like 1 to 10 million a month, come on. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, I know. No kidding. Yeah, it's really interesting that whole documentary was very telling. But if you guys haven't watched it, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
It's on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. It's like 27 minutes or something. It's just interesting just to like see how her whole apartment is literally cut into, I think, 3 different
it's
sets.
a studio.
Yeah, that's a studio. 3 different studios, like her bed, I think like her kitchen or dining room or something, and then her hot tub inside.
It's crazy. It's funny too, because like setting up all the stuff you need to, obviously you guys can see every time I fucking wave my hand or something like that. You can tell clearly I have a green screen in the background, so surprise, and there's like I've got a ring light in front of me and stuff, but like until I started doing this, like she's got like 3 ring lights in the background. She's got the umbrella things, the whatever that are supposed to reflect the light.
Umbrella lights, yeah.
It's just this whole setup, and then just the thing that like made me hate looking at it was just the wires everywhere, like just the general chaos. Like I would hate that. And that's just you and like 2 other people setting up all the time, and she's streaming like 12 hours a day and stuff. Like I would absolutely hate that. Can you imagine what it was like before she actually had a house where it was just a set? You know, when she had to like move her own shit around 5 times a day.
Yeah. So I wonder what, I guess we'll end up seeing this chick probably on YouTube or something. Like usually they got to find somewhere to advertise their OnlyFans, so they got to pick some platform.
Yeah, so she says, interesting point here. She says what she's trying to do is prove that tall girls can be as conventionally attractive as anyone else, which I believe is the case. I mean, but I can see how when you're that tall, it's obviously you're probably going to run into people who are bullies and assholes and shit like that. So, I mean, hey, if that's her goal and she thinks this is going to contribute to it, fuck it, more power to her.
Yeah, I mean, and then just like on the other side of the spectrum, she's going to run into crazy freaks that are obsessed with like knee joints and shit, and she's got like the biggest knee joints of all women, or, you know what I mean? So you're going to find, yeah, she's going to run into a lot of different things. Well, especially dealing with OnlyFans. Who do you think is the only people that are going to pay that? What was it, $35? Are going to be the crazy like freaks that really just want to see, her legs, or
Yeah. I mean, it definitely takes being into legs to a new territory for sure.
But hey, I mean, fuck it, dude. Make your money, you know what I mean? She could literally, if she blows up, you know what I mean, do it 5 years and you can just retire. Like, that's what's awesome about that. That's why I'm not hating on anyone that does OnlyFans or anything. Like, get your money however. As long as you're not breaking the law, you're not hurting anyone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, if that BMW is her post TikTok car, I want to see what her post OnlyFans car is.
Yeah.
In like 2 years, she's gonna have a McLaren made that she can fit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that the Shaq custom Cadillac. His front seat, they removed the back seat and they put his front seat in the back seat, and that's all he drives. Like, that's,
dude. Once she gets that sick McLaren, she's gonna be in Avengers 6 Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fucking awesome, man.
Every fucking article you're gonna bring
I'm
up.
gonna be like, isn't that chick from that one OnlyFans we talked about? Doesn't she have like some Guinness World Records? Like, yeah, they brought her in. She started to get really into cars.
Oh shit.
But speaking of streaming services or content or whatever you want to say, let's jump on into Netflix.
Oh yeah.
So, Netflix is going a little crazy. So this article goes over, obviously there's a few things that have gone on recently, but this article in particular goes over them going after password sharing. So implementing a fee for each sub account or like the additional household, essentially. And then charging, I think it mentions like $2.50 to $3, something like that for the fee. Which is interesting timing because it comes right after they saw their first decrease in subscribers in, I think it was over 6 years. So an interesting move. One thing I'll say about the decrease in subscribers, part of that comes from them pulling out of Russia, which was a reduction of 700,000 subscribers right there. So, but they are projecting that they will continue to lose subscribers. So,
they're canceling all their damn good shows, or just a lot of shows and movies now.
Well, what shows are they? Because they have a new movie I think they have like a new movie every week, something like that. They still have specials, like comedy specials, being released all the time. Stuff like that. Oh, Plumber Kevin coming in clutch here. So I'm gonna see. So this article I'm looking at right here shows 9 Netflix TV shows canceled in 2022 so far. I'm gonna see if any of these are ones that you watched or that I've watched. Have you seen Gentified?
All right. Well, while you're looking at that, I'm gonna tell you my Netflix experience here, Troy.
Did you even listen to anything I just said?
Yeah, you asked me if I've ever seen this show, and I'm trying to tell you that I don't watch Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I was gonna go into a nice story, and now you've ruined it.
Yeah,
That seemed like you did not reply to what
Yeah.
I was saying at all.
After this story, you would realize asking me these questions are going to be all no's. That's all I'm trying to say.
There are other ways to watch shows than seeing them on Netflix.
I know. We're not going to talk about that. Only time I ever had Netflix was when Netflix first started out, and you signed up, and they would send you like 2 to 3 DVD movies in the mail. It was a mailing service. There was no streaming or anything. That's when I had Netflix. I think it was like 15 to 16 years ago was the last time I had Netflix, and it was physical DVDs being sent to my house.
Damn. Yeah, I've used Netflix since almost the very beginning.
My girlfriend, Jess uses it. She has Netflix at the house, but she watches whatever the hell those shows are. But
so you don't ever even log on to. Okay, so let's just see if any of these are ones that you've looked up or happened to watch. Okay, Gentified.
Nope.
Cooking with Paris.
Do I look like I cook or watch cooking shows? No.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry. What do people who cook and watch cooking shows look like, Chris?
I don't know.
You know how many times
Yeah.
you
Wait, no.
for me?
What are you trying to say, Chris?
I'm sorry. I watch Hell's Kitchen. I'm sorry, but I mainly watch that for Ramsay, not cooking.
You cook most nights, don't you?
I cook over an open flame on a grill. That's what I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like a man, you know.
So, Stranger Things.
No.
You really? I thought that was going to be a yes for sure.
No.
What the fuck? Okay. All right. So you might really be a no for all. So far, the only one I've seen is Stranger Things, and it says canceled after 5 seasons, but I'm not sure it's really canceled. I think it's just probably going to finish.
Yeah. Because season 4, I saw like commercials or something on the internet. Is it coming out or is it out or something?
No, it's not out. It's coming out though.
Oh.
Stranger Things was pretty good when I watched it. I don't think I watched the last season, but like the first season was pretty cool. A lot of people
pretty
jumped on board.
It is pretty good for sure. Never Have I Ever. That's the name of the show.
I was like, that's a game like a drinking game we used to play, but that's all I know it for.
Chris, have you seen the show?
No, I don't. I've never heard of that.
The Babysitter's Club.
No.
Archive 81.
No, Archive 81.
That's literally, that one has only been out for, only one season was released. Lock and Key.
No.
Okay, so I've seen Lock and Key. So far, I've only seen 2 of these. On the Verge.
No.
And Raising Dion.
Raising Deion Sanders? Primetime?
I'm sorry, hold on, let me read the full title. It's Raising Deion Sanders. Yes.
That'd be fucking awesome.
You haven't seen it?
No.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. Fucking primetime.
So I've only seen 2 of those shows, and I'm pretty sure of the 2 I saw, Stranger Things is the only one where I'm like, okay, totally fine with me with that finishing. Lock and Key was kind of mediocre anyway. So it's like, these shows that are getting canceled, I really feel like, because probably they're not getting that much viewership, and it's like, why continue them? It's like any normal network canceling shows, and just having a new run the next year. So I don't know if that necessarily means that they're going downhill. I mean, it may, it may totally mean that, hey, it's all going to shit, but I'd say that there's still plenty of hope.
I can't remember what, this shit's hilarious right here. Blockbuster just shitting on him. It's great. With the fucking Undertaker meme, like that is the greatest use of it ever. Coming back, like I would love to see Blockbuster come back somehow. I don't know, like what the hell they could do, but
Blockbuster comes back and they're like, we're putting up a service. The whole country pays for one subscription. All the government has to do is agree to pay $1,000 a year, and the entire country gets the service. And everybody shares the password.
So do you think it's the password, or with all these shows being canceled that they just have really bad content out there right now, as opposed to them losing viewers or subscriptions?
I think they have a decent amount of good content. I mean, there's a lot of content I like. So just to kind of run through a few things, right? Their movies, all things said and done, pretty hit or miss. With I'd say a decent amount of them being misses, and the couple that are good just being mostly okay. I mean, obviously, like they've more or less kept Adam Sandler's career alive, but with all the random one-off Adam Sandler movies and stuff, some of which I've actually enjoyed. Others of which I was like, oh, he wanted to go on a destination to this place, so they went and filmed a movie there. But they've got a couple shows that I watch. Sex Education, Big Mouth, Stranger Things, obviously. I did watch House of Cards for a while, but fell off with that. And obviously the whole Spacey drama happened. Master of None was another one that was really good, but the most recent season was just a total left turn, so I don't really know what was going on with that exactly. But for the most part, what I really like about Netflix is that's where every comedian these days releases their specials. That's where all the Chappelle specials were.
That is true.
Adam Sandler obviously had his comeback special. David Spades had a couple specials.
Rogan was on there, right?
Rogan has a handful of specials. There's Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Aziz Ansari. Like, the list just fucking goes on and on and on of these comedians who just, they're dropping their specials through Netflix. Like, these days, in the comic world, it's just like, oh, just when you get a special on Netflix, that's your success. Kind of like getting a special on HBO was back in the day. So I think that's a big part of the content that they release that's really valuable still, is all of that. Dude, Squid Games, there you go. That's another one that was really good. I don't know if that was a Netflix original, though.
No. Oh, no. Yeah, they did pay for it.
It was?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, the Korean guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course I watched it. The Korean guy, they're like over in Korea, they were like shitting on him. He had the idea for a while, and then Netflix like bought it.
Nice. Yeah, see, that's like, I think there's plenty of content that is still coming out. Love, Death, and Robots. That's something our video editor turned me on to. That's really good. That's coming out with another season soon. Like,
all right, so I did a little bit of math because I wanted to see something here, because I'm one of the few people in the country that still has a cable box, cable, DVR, and all that stuff. So I just,
an idiot.
Yeah, I know. Now that football's over, I needed to cancel it, but whatever. But if you add up, say, like, I just took like the 4 biggest subscriptions, and so it's like Disney Plus, Netflix, Peacock, and HBO. That brings you to $50 a month. And the average internet cost in the country is $70 a month. So that gives you a total of $120. Well, guess what we were all running away from to go to streaming was we were trying to get away from the $120, $130 cable bill. Well, now all of a sudden, because of all the different subscription services, I think people are realizing, wow, I'm literally paying for the same exact thing.
Well, let me get you to dial it back there. It's not fair at all to count what you're paying in internet, because let's be honest, you're gonna pay for internet whether you have a streaming service or not, right? Like, at this point,
I know, but I'm saying it's, but
it is a requirement to enter. But is it fair to make that an inherent part of the streaming service? I don't know.
No. I mean, think I'm about saying it this the total.
Way. I could subscribe to it, not have internet, and use my phone to stream all of these things and never actually go on my own Wi-Fi or anything.
Yeah.
Like, theoretically.
Troy, what I was saying was, in the beginning, we abandoned cable because Netflix was only $5 a month. So then it was $5 a month plus the $70 internet, and then you're like, oh wow, this. But then now over the years, now your $5 a month has become closer to 50 if you subscribe to all like the biggest ones, because all the shows are split up. You know what I mean? If like new Game of Thrones comes out, at the end of the day, now we went full circle, except now you're splitting up your bill. So I think now people are literally starting to go and start cutting them out now.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying too, because 120 is probably what you would pay for internet and cable.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We went full
versus
circle.
Internet and all the streaming services. Yeah.
That's the point I was making. I think people are starting to realize that now, that they're being nickel and dimed, which is now being added up to cable plus internet, or maybe even more now, you know, depending on what else you're subscribed to. And I think now I think people are, with inflation and the dollar not being as valuable as it used to be, it's even more important to look at your bills and say, hey, I could cut out $20 a month right here, and what am I actually cutting out? And if that's Netflix, and they're not producing the AAA title or top whatever good TV shows are called, if they're not producing those on like a monthly or like 4 times a year type of thing, then I think, you're gonna get cut.
To be clear though, here's where the streaming services currently massively beat out cable, right? I can have Netflix, you can have Hulu, Plumber Kev can have whatever the fuck he's got.
Pornhub, of course.
He can have a Pornhub subscription.
That counts, yes.
And we can all have that subscription with word sharing.
Yeah.
Right. So I can pay $10 for one, you can pay $10 for another. Not that they're $10 exactly, but right, just for argument's sake, right? Each of us can pay $10 for a service, and we can all have it. So this, first of all, for Netflix, obviously, it probably will and probably should cut into their actual user base, but it's going to set a precedence as well for a lot of these streaming services. And what could potentially happen as a result of that, kind of what you're getting at, is at that point, why not just go back to cable and have the ads? Because half of these streaming services also have ads on them, right? So it's like, what does it matter? And I think the other thing that was talked about, it wasn't in this, it wasn't in the last article we were looking at. I don't know if it's in this article, but they were also talking about having a lower tiered subscription where there would be ads. And
like Hulu has that now.
Yeah. So I'd be interested to see what's that same comparison, Chris, among let's say 5 streaming services at the ad tier subscription, and what does that cost, and how much are you really saving over cable, and do you get the same amount of content? And obviously the clear winner for cable is, well, cable has sports, and okay, well, if you really value that, then it may well be worthwhile to just have fucking cable. I think there's also certain cable subscriptions that'll come with a Netflix subscription. So
I've been a cable cutter for maybe 6 years now, and in the beginning, you would save, but kind of to Chris's point, it is starting to equal out. But like you said, with sports, you can do Hulu Live, you can do YouTube TV, and you can actually get your local sports on there. ESPN Plus also has like NHL. They carry NHL, so you do have different options. But
how much more is that over the regular services?
I think I was paying maybe 70 to 80 with Hulu Live.
Jesus.
So I don't get cable at that price.
I would. I think I would too.
But the thing is, like, I don't have it right now because the NFL is over, so I don't really need it. And then hockey, I can just stream it through my dad's Bailey account. But once like the playoffs start, I'm probably gonna have to pay for it. So I can cancel ad without like the cable box, having to deal with that. So I just turn it on and off. If I want cable or to watch live TV, I pay for it. If there's nothing on anymore, I just cancel.
All right, so Plumber Kevin has some advice for you. Look into YouTube TV. It's cheaper and it's better than that.
Oh, so. Yeah.
Dude,
So
I had
something
YouTube
else I'll do-
TV. I really like YouTube TV, but the only problem is you can only have it on 3 different screens at once. That's it. And then it locks down, even in your own house. And that's a problem in my house.
So like I've been like a Hulu person lately, but you can also do like a cycle where they'll send out like the emails like, hey, if you come back, it'll be half off, and I'm like, all right, this is a real good time. I'll go to YouTube TV, and then you cancel it because the sports season's over, and then
Yeah.
you'll get the Hulu ad like, hey, if you come back, like, all right, cool, well, NFL's coming back, so you can kind of play the system in that way, just jumping around between the two, or
You know,
there's multiple.
another thing that's kind of that's come up recently is they have some apps. The main one I've seen is Tubi, that they're a streaming service, but they have this kind of it's kind of like a version of channels. It's not really normal cable channels, but they have, channels that will play different things, different shows, whatever, and they're always going to have ads, but the ads are substantially less than cable, right? Instead of a 30-minute show being 19 to 22 minutes of actual show, you're talking about a 30-minute show that is going to be like 25 minutes or something, or more likely it'll be that 22-minute show that you would see on cable, but then only 3 minutes of ads put into it or something like that. And then they also have a bunch of movies and I believe other shows that you can choose from on demand that also just have ads that play through it, but it's again substantially less. Like you'll go 30 minutes without an ad instead of like, I don't know, I've tried to watch Harry Potter movies on cable or something like that because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I'll throw a movie on and it'll be like, all right, guys, we're going to do class. Have you taken your pills today? Like, it's just, every fucking 30 seconds. And then they come back and they're like, I think we're going to fight somebody. And they're like, have you eaten Doritos recently? And then, it just feels like you're watching more ads than you are actual content. But some of these new apps, like I said, like Tubi as an example, is shortening that amount of time you spend on ads. Which obviously the evolution of something like that is if it were to get huge, there would just be more and more ads eventually. But at the moment, it's really nice.
Yeah, I think what's honestly going to happen, not anytime soon, but I say within the next 10 years, I would say now the big 3 is going to acquire the other 2, and there's going to be one streaming service that rules them all. So
I think it's going to be a few years before that happens because we're only really starting to see. I think it'll be quite a while because we're only really starting to see the actual break off of all of these different networks and all of these different entities creating their own streaming platforms. Like, obviously, we've had multiple platforms for a while, but it's only been within the past few years that we've seen, hey, this content's coming off of this platform because this platform's being launched instead, and so on and so forth. So I think we're definitely going to get to, I think that has a lot more change to happen in that direction before we get to the point where it starts scaling back and these companies start getting bought, and ultimately that Elon Musk buys them all and puts them all back together. I think which is the logical next. Am I wrong?
Yeah, because
I think eventually
Discovery. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, after he buys America, then he'll go, let's make streaming services great again, and then he'll put those back together, and that'll be what happens. And that's the future I see.
Yeah. Well, after this news I can kind of believe that now.
Possible.
I can kind of believe that, yeah. Because normally you hear of companies buying other or corporations buying other corporations for X amount of billion. You don't hear about a singular person buying a corporation for $43 billion. That's a little odd,
I think it's important to note that
It's crazy.
If corporations are people, why can't people be corporations? And that's the mantra that Elon Musk has acquired, has equipped, and now he's going to go buy Twitter, which is really interesting, exciting in a lot of ways, very, very enticing. But I want to real quick, just a relatively short timeline on how this all came to be, and then I'll set you free. I'll set us free. So all of this that I'm talking about was this year. So January 31st, Elon starts accumulating Twitter shares and holds a 5% stake by March 14th. So over the course of about a month and a half, he ends up with a 5% stake in Twitter. March 24th, he makes claims. He says the Twitter algorithm should be open source and that free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. So, for sure, agreed. And criticizes Twitter for not upholding that. April 4th, his stake becomes public and he's invited to join the board. An indication is that he's going to accept the seat. At that time, that was the indication. 5 days later, he rejects the seat. 5 days later from that, April 14th, Musk offers to buy Twitter for $43 billion. I believe what he ended up having to buy for was 44, but at that time it was 43. He began essentially lining up funding, and April 24th, Musk talks to the board, the Twitter board. April 25th, confirms he's going to buy Twitter and take it private for $44 billion. So his claims so far include making the algorithm open source, like I mentioned, eliminating spam and bots, prioritizing free speech, and then adding new features, which I'm not sure what that'll be or what that would consist of. But very quick timeline, all things considered, for when it starts ramping up to, okay, it's time to buy Twitter. And what I'm really curious about is not so much what does this mean for Twitter. I'm not too interested in that, because I'm sure loosening the rules and stuff, like we'll talk about that in a sec. But what's the motive behind this acquisition from a business standpoint? Like, if we're talking revenue, Twitter's not the company. Not to say it doesn't bring in anything, but
it's not a lot.
To buy it for $44 billion.
For him to make that money back,
yeah, it's not valued there right now, and it doesn't make a lot. So it's interesting to see, really all it is ads. That's 85% of their revenue is ads. So, I'm curious to see what changes would be implemented, because, to be honest, however good or bad you think his intentions are, obviously this is a business decision. It may look to certain people or something like that, like, oh, hey, I'm going to buy this because, I want to be able to post whatever I want, or I want people to be able to post whatever I want. And that's all well and good, but at the end of the day, he's a businessman. So
yeah, there's something behind. There's something else. There's got to be, yeah.
So it's something I definitely want to kind of research a little bit more and understand a little bit better. But that's just the general question I think that should be posed right now. What is the true motive behind?
He might have a plan for Twitter. Twitter might not stay exactly what it is now. He might add more features to it, which then allows Twitter to actually make more money as a company or something. I'm sure he has some plan. You're not spending $43 billion when the amount of money it makes, I don't know if he'd ever see that money again, I don't think by him owning it, it's going to become way more valuable than it was. I don't know.
Right. But I think what is interesting to note is that he in and of himself is a very powerful tool for getting things out there. Like, his whole acquisition has been very boisterous, if you will, right? Like, normally when a company is acquiring another company, or however it's working, right, you hear about it like couple weeks before it's happening, or like you might see an article here or there that discusses like, oh, this could be happening behind the scenes or something, but this is very, very public and very evident, right? So I wonder if just from that type of exposure,
it's political.
he's kind of hoping for, sure, but I wonder if from that type of exposure he's hoping for A, more users, and then B, even more support when these changes are made, or changes it is that he wants to do, maybe resulting in a better Twitter, a more profitable Twitter, whatever it is. I'm just curious where this goes within the next, I'd say within the next couple of months or so, because that's probably the timeline it's going to take to really finish all of the buying up and then maybe start seeing some of these changes.
Yeah, and there's still a small chance that it doesn't happen. It's not official yet, so by the time this podcast comes out, I'm pretty sure it's official one way or the other, but it looks like it's going to be going through.
Yeah, but by the time this comes out, Twitter could actually be the new metaverse where everybody's just walking around tweeting and it's just them looking down at their phone in a virtual world, Maybe that's what Twitter becomes. I don't know. Like I said, really curious to see how do you actually make this profitable. But let's shift then. What does this mean for Twitter? Obviously, we talked about what he claims he's going to change. So, what does it actually mean for what Twitter looks like? Well, I think obviously you can say many people are going to get unbanned, because I think the only reason anybody really gets banned is from exercising their right to free speech just in a way that is potentially seen as dangerous. But it is still free speech. That's absolutely the case. So I think that's a really interesting concept in and of itself. Just unbanning people.
And I wish I had the numbers, but I saw something a little bit ago of a bunch of certain members of the left actually lost tens and tens or hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers. Like their accounts actually they deleted themselves, they got rid of them, and certain people on the right actually increased by tens and 100,000. So it's pretty crazy. As soon as this happened, people are literally just throwing their accounts away, and then other people are actually joining this because of Elon, and what they think he's gonna do or what Twitter's gonna become,
Yeah, which I think is really interesting because kind of like we're talking about, it's all really just speculation at this point. Like what actually happens, we have no idea. Not only that, but
but it's crazy that they're already reacting when it's not even official. It's Yeah,
and I would also say Elon and the type of think tanks he has are the type of people who will come up with ideas that none of us have ever thought of before, or at least none of a very small portion of us may have ever even considered. And obviously from this perspective right now, I'm looking at that and going, I probably can't actually, I am probably too dumb to come up with the idea that he's going to come up with that's going to change this to whatever it's going to change to. But I know that it's going to be something, and it'll be substantial, because there's no way someone as intelligent as him and business savvy in this way is going to buy Twitter and be like, yeah guys, I did it. I say whatever I want now.
Yeah.
That is not, on the surface it looks good as a motivating force because it's really good to drive people towards it, but that is not the reason he's doing it. If that is not even in the top 100 reasons he's doing it. There's no way.
Well, I mean,
you think this could be like him trying to be like with the meta, where you have like all this data for all these people?
I was about to say the amount of data he just bought.
Because what's the Facebook guy's name?
Zuckerberg.
So you have Zuckerberg, who's like a nerdy weird guy. Elon Musk, nerdy weird guy. But Facebook Meta the metaverse, whatever you want to call it, has all this data of people, and he's just basically acquiring that same thing. So he's almost like on the same playing field to use it for whatever he wants.
Yeah, there could be some in regards to that where it's not even Twitter, Troy. It's in the back end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. And again, this is another thing, because before we ever, started the show, and I was just looking into this and thinking, how do you implement Twitter into his other business ventures, right? Because that's really, that's actually how this is most likely to be used. I would agree with that. This just adds an ability to be able to track a lot of the data, a lot of the peripheral information you would need for certain things. So I don't know, maybe he acquires Twitter and somehow that gives him enough traffic information that all of a sudden he can perfect the auto driving, or maybe he just really doesn't want people tracking his private jet.
Yo, what if so he buys it, and then if you buy a Tesla, you sign into Twitter in your car, and it like knows everything about you, your favorite music, you know what I mean? He just knows everything, knows who you are.
Just picks up, yeah. It's just like, hey, you don't need to sign into Spotify or XM or like anything. Really, we basically fucking got it from here. We got you covered. And when that happens in 2030, then your Tesla will auto drive for you, 2 hours down the road while you're sitting there watching Avengers 6 Fast and Furious. Nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
There's also the thing where he's just like, I like to fuck around on Twitter and I don't want to get banned, so I'm just gonna buy it, so I know I'm never gonna get banned.
Nah, yeah, but dude, 43 billion isn't. If it was 43 million, oh, easy. If he bought it for 43 million, I would guarantee he can afford to buy that just so he can talk about whatever he wants.
He will be massively indebted to investors.
Well, it's gonna be the Wall Street Bets now. Wall Street Bets is now his investors. They're going to be the ones jumping on him.
I don't think that those are the investors. I'm talking like Morgan Stanley and shit. But yeah, man, Wall Street Bets, dude, for sure.
The squeeze is coming.
Hey, those fucking apes couldn't possibly. No, it's going to be a private company though. That's the thing. So, there's going to have to be. I don't know. There's going to have to be some increases in revenue that happen. So I'm just really curious to see where he goes with this. I think it's exciting, not necessarily in a good or bad way. I think probably more likely to be good, but it's just exciting because it's a huge change,
So I was looking at that because I had Twitter for a bit, so it's
your only social media.
But I'm looking, and Elon Musk actually says he wants to take it private. So I guess that's a whole
Troy said
like
that
foundation. Yeah. Hey, never repeat me.
This guy doesn't listen.
I wasn't listening.
Hey, I feel like, guys, this whole episode I'm just not being listened to. Sorry, is my mic on? Hold on.
You actually cut his mic?
Oh shit.
What about all right, let's move on from what's the next business venture he's on. Ready? How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I get one version that does have the Coke and one that doesn't? Like, I just want
to taste it. Like, I want to taste what it tastes like. Does it actually taste better, or like, I don't...
I have no idea. I can't tell you what that tastes like, but I would venture to say, it's just a chemical, right? So I would venture to say you're probably better off without an extra chemical if we're going for taste.
Well, Troy, everything's a chemical, dude.
Okay, more like a chemical in like the research lab setting where you're not like chemicals you don't want to drink.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you.
They're just protons and neutrons with electrons circling. That's all it is, dude. It's fine.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Just take everything, Troy. Just take everything. It's fine.
Just yeah, put it in there, man. Let's fucking somebody get me some Coke. A Coca-Cola to be clear.
Yeah, of course. That's
Not
what we're
that
talking about.
degenerate bullshit.
Yeah, the stuff that looks like sugar. Yeah, that could go into Coca-Cola.
It's funny because the actual sugar that goes into Coke is liquid.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
yeah,
Well, I think that's how we're gonna end this show.
You think so? I could talk for like another 6 hours. Doesn't everybody want that?
We know.
Yeah. No, I think editor Eric, I think, wants us to end it now.
Hey, don't say him by name, dude.
Our editor.
What is your fucking deal, man?
Oh, now
Sorry.
you just associate his name.
I can't tell you how many no-nos you've made in this podcast. I think you made it your job in the first 30 minutes to just talk over me. And I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, I fucked up. I hit
My
the
bad.
vape
It was number
one
3
time.
that did it.
Nah.
My favorite
Alright.
was when he ignored you. When you were, I can't remember what you were talking about because I was
talking
ignoring
about the
you too.
Netflix shows being kids.
Oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, whatever. But my story.
Oh, let's say whatever, but.
Hey, Kev, you were ignoring me? You sent me the article that I was reading
Oh yeah, that's
from.
true.
Oh, fuck. Guys, I'm bad for the viewership.
Yeah.
If you two don't want to listen to me, nobody wants to listen to me.
Hey guys, make a comment if you like listening to Troy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So when we get no comments, you can be like, I fucking told you.
So I love how your cup is matching a green screen. So every time you've been
Yeah.
drinking a drink, it's
Dude, it's been like that since episode 1.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been paying attention to that either.
It's been in some of the videos too.
I just look at Chris's side of the
my
screen.
This is my cup.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyway, sign us out, Chris.
All right, guys. We have an outro, dude. We don't have to do this.
You nailed it. Thanks, dude.
We did it.
All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching Pelican and the Bear. Remember to like and subscribe.
Or dislike and don't subscribe. Whatever you do, be sure to leave a comment. Nobody's going to read it anyway.